throughout your journey as a coach, right? What has been that one performance that was a highlight for you as a coach? And if we look into Essie Brume's journey, being an Olympic medalist, being a world champion medalist, indoor, outdoor, Commonwealth, African record, national record, what has been that one moment as a coach that stood out for you?
It's going to be like 3 or 4 moments, not one. Yeah, that stood out for me. And I literally hear people saying, you're still playing that coach. Your life is over. So 2016, she was the only Nigerian that got to the finals at the Rio Olympic. That was big for me. I was very excited.
Welcome back to yet another exciting episode of Beyond the Finish Line with Star, where athleticism meets inspiration, a safe space where athletes come to share their untold stories, humble beginnings, setbacks, and how they overcame, diving into intersections of sport, lifestyle, and personal growth. And as you know, I am your host, Star Mpama. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for constantly being a big part of this community. Your likes, your comments, your shares, constantly coming back to watch this inspiring episode is one that is also inspiring to us and gives us every reason to keep doing what we're doing. And I want to say a big thank you. We sincerely appreciate you. So without wasting so much of anybody's time, today's guest happens to be a special one. A World Athletics Certified Coach, IOC Certified Coach, NIS Certified Coach. He has produced an Olympic medalist, world champion, African record holder, national record holder, Commonwealth champion. My darling, the list is endless. He is the coach of the sensational Essie Brume. He's none other than Coach Kayode YaYa. It's a pleasure having you in the studio. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Amazing.
How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I mean, school and track, but we're handling it well.
Oh, really? You're capable. There's nothing that comes your way that you're not capable of handling in there.
Oh my. Okay. Yes, Coach Kayode and his motivational words. I'm super excited to have you in the studio. So, with much of anybody's time, I already had the introduction done, but I like it when people introduce themselves because you are who you say you are. So please, Coach Kayode, can we meet you? Can my audience meet you?
My name is Coach YaYa Kayode, a track and field coach.
I don't understand. That's all. That was not the introduction.
What is it?
Olympic.
Yeah, we don't need to bring it up.
What championship? World Athletics. IOC.
You already did all that introduction, so let's keep it real.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you, before we dive into your incredible journey as a coach, I want to ask you this question. You have produced one of the most talented athletes in the world, likes of Essie Brume, the rising star, Personal Chonogo. And I'm curious, if I put a call across to any of your athletes today and I ask them to describe your coaching philosophy, one word, what would that be?
I don't know. You need to put a call to them and find out.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay. I will do well to reach out. I will do well to reach out.
Yeah.
So, for somebody who studied civil engineering, that's a shift moving into coaching. How did that whole journey start for you?
So I thought, I never wanted to become a coach. It wasn't even in my agenda, being a coach. Yeah. Though I love the sports, and quite unfortunately, I do not I didn't get the support I needed to move on in the sports. So, yeah, I had so many challenges. I knew I was talented. Everybody knew that I was good and I was up in the game, but challenges still come. You have to keep your priorities right. So, because from my family, majority of them thought that being in sport will not allow me focus on my education. And even when I try to force it through, not just the challenges from my families, challenges from the officials, you just find yourself being that person that no one likes. Probably they think you are too forward or you're too smart, or, for some certain reasons, you just find people don't like you. And they try to give you that edgy look, you know what I mean? And they try to make you feel like you're not welcome here, the type of thing. But all things being equal, I focused on my education and I graduated, studied civil engineering. And so I thought that civil engineering was just an opposite for track and field, but that's not true. I wasn't a jumper. I never jumped in my life, but the sciences and physics gave me deep insight on how to train long jumpers. It also helped me to know how to train great sprinters as well, too, because truly the scientific part of track and field is the physics part, which I think studying engineering gave me an edge.
Scientific had, well, okay. I would still go back to that, but I want to move to the mental aspect of things. So, it's my time to go over, I've seen videos of you, while you speak to your athletes online. I saw a few interviews, and there's one thing I've come to observe about you, which the mental, to prepare your athlete mentally for whatever it is they do. And for me, I feel like that's a thing that Coach Kayode is known for, especially what you did when you first came into the studio. So my question here would be, what, through your years of coaching, what was one moment where this mental mindset played a role in the life of an athlete more compared to what he or she probably would have done physically? I mean, it's like, everybody believes that maybe this person wouldn't be able to do this, but after imputing the mental aspect of it and having it come into play, it just gave a result from what anyone else expected.
This what I call mental toughness and mental strength. Yeah, two. First, one of the most strategic things about life is to create a mental picture of what you need, not what you want. Because what you want will crowd your mind, like too many things coming. So you would not be able to channel specific energy to the one that is of most importance. So I think when you create a mental picture, you must try very hard to ensure that you feature in that picture in the future, because mental picture is always in the future. So you must have mapped out yourself, having a good drawing of and a clear picture of what you want to become. This is a dying need that you must pursue. It's in the dream, so you set realistic goals. Once you conquer that one goal, you're one step closer to your dream. But how do you do all of this? You have to be mentally ready. So going back to what I said about mental strength and mental toughness. Mental strength will bring you to training, but mental toughness will keep you through in practice. One brings you to training, another one keeps you through practice. So not just training, practice. You train is the physicality. You train to adaptation, but practice is to perfect the functional movement. And this functional movement is what you execute when you compete. So when you gain mastery over that part of practice, it becomes a behavioral pattern, such that when the time comes for you to use it, the sense is responsible on its own will activate. So it takes mental toughness for you to go through practice. On the way to competition, inside the competition, I will remind you over and over again what you train for and what you practice for. Today is going to be the mental strength But when you're competing today, it will be the mental toughness. So that making you understand that your body has taken all that is needed to perform. Now it's time for you to deliver it. But you will not be able to deliver it if you do not have mental toughness. So we got to wake up that mental toughness because it's somewhere in the brain. It's already registered in there. So we got to turn it on for you to come out 100% on your full cylinders to compete. Compete. I said to compete. You have to compete.
I think one mistake I made coming in here was I should have come in with my pen and paper, considering I'm an athlete, because right now this feels more like a class to me.
Don't worry, you have me all the time. I'm just one message away from here.
Thank you, Coach Kayode. So there's a ditch that goes world-class athletes. Every world-class athlete comes with a world-class challenge. And with your experiences in coaching, I want to ask you, what would you define as high performance?
High performance is simple. I'm going to take you back again to the mental toughness and the mental strength. It's just simple. Practice makes perfect. You must understand basically that the one reason why you go for training is to perform. So now that you know that at the end of the day, it's performance, then you have to work your nerves to understand performance. There are ups and downs. That's why you need, again, the mental strength and the mental toughness to go through the skills. If you do 1 + 1, you're going to get 2. If you do high performance training, you're going to get high performance. It's that simple. You don't need to make a stone out of a teacup. Now, people tend to see themselves small, even when they do the kind of training that will launch them to high performance. The truth is everybody runs 300, everybody runs 60 meters, everybody go to the gym, everybody do match. But the only people who are tough are the ones who perform. So you see, performance, high performance is the same as performance. You can put high or low. It doesn't really matter. Performance is performance. But what I'm trying to say to you right now, high performance is totally and entirely in your hands if you decide to do. You have to make the choice for high performance. So you just don't say you walk the walk of high performance. Now, a lot of people can walk that walk, but at the end of the day, they be unable to perform, not because they can't perform, but because they don't know they are able to perform. So you know it, because it is the people that don't know that will be strong and do exploit. So half of the word knowledge is know. Get knowledge. That means know. When you know, you'll be strong, and then you do exploit. So that's what performance for me is. It's not rocket science. It's just know that people who are performing, they are people. They're nothing more than people, and it could be you. And then why not you?
So talking about the act of knowing, would you say it is something that a coach has to be a part of in the process of helping an athlete to know that he or she can do? Or would you say it's something the athlete have to already tell him or herself mentally that, okay, this is what it is, and I just have to know this so that everything I have done can become what I know?
It is a combination of both. The two shall work together, and if they agree at anything, it comes to pass. It's a fuse, it's a puzzle. You bring your own picture of the puzzle, I bring my own picture of the puzzle. Put together, we have a big picture. Because a coach must make you believe in the process, must make you trust the process, must make you trust yourself. And above all, coach is meant to make you trust God. God's not going to give you a talent and abandon you. He's going to give you a talent and put someone in charge to lead you. And this is where it's very vital for athletes to listen to coach. You need to listen to coach for just one reason. This is my reason. It may not be a general reason. I believe blessings supersede training. I believe so. But training cannot supersede blessing. Blessing comes from obedience, and obedience entitles you to command. The obedience here is to listen to the coach, the instruction. I've seen where foolish things turn wise because of obedience. It's very important that we separate that, because these are one of the laws of the universe that God has put there. as long as this earth remains. He didn't say as long as Christians or Muslim or black or white remain. As long as this earth remains, seed time and out time, summer, winter, and other type of a thing would never cease. So it is the measure you give that you get. The energy you give, you get back. So we know people when they pretend or tell lies. Oh, well, I give this energy, but the result is not showing that energy. You didn't give that energy. If you give, you're going to attract the same thing back. Yeah, if you give it negatively, it will come back. It will come at you. If you give it positively, it will return to you. So one is at you, the other one is to you. Knowing this difference, you will understand clearly the importance of a coach preparing the mind of the athlete and the importance of the athlete being receptive to receive the coach in terms of obedience makes it a blessing. And this blessing makes rich. And I know, sorry.
Okay, coach, let me ask you this question, right? In a case where this is an athlete who, let's dive into the NCAAs, for example. We completely understand that as an athlete, when you step into the NCAAs, you are expected to perform. And this athlete is putting in what he or she needs to put in. And it's looking like he or she is not meeting up to the standard the coach requires at that point in time. And you know that at that point, the coach would definitely have his athletes. But that does not necessarily make this person a bad athlete. It's just that he or she has not met up to that standard. Now, you talked about the blessing of a coach. Would this also play a factor in this scenario right now?
Yes, because the number one thing is the overall well-being of the athletes. People have down times and people don't respond to training the same way. People are built differently genetically and biochemical compositions, so they respond differently. Assimilation power, comprehension power, and then environmental factors all put together can affect an athlete. So now as a coach, you have to be patient. You must try to understand what fits that athlete, because what fits Mr. A may not necessarily fit Mr. B. This is where I go back to individual response in terms of comprehension, assimilation, understanding the lines, genetic factors, biological factors, and other external factors. So you see, the fact that the athlete is not responding at that time does not mean the athlete is not going to respond some other time. But as a coach, you must not put that pressure on the athletes that, oh, well, you're not exactly what I thought you were. Well, using the NCAA as the standard is pretty not clear, because we know when you get admission to the collegiate system, you're operating in a different dimension.
Okay.
Some athletes, we have this mindset that in between June, July, and August is the championships or the games, so they want to be there. And then, are they in December racing, competing? Some of them are not used to it. So before they get through to June, July, they're already done, wasted. You see the point? So a readjustment when they come to the collegiate system might be a defining factor for them. So it's very important, therefore, that the overall well-being of the athlete is put into total consideration, make them have the right frame of mind so they can fit in and adjust as quickly as possible. That's where you'll see performance coming in all this time.
Wisdom is profitable to a man, the Bible says.
Wisdom it is.
And I am getting a lot of profits right now.
I'm glad you are.
So, Coach, in the course of your conversation with me, countless times you've talked about, I've heard you make some illustration from the Bible, and there was an interview that S.A. Brume granted. That was after the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. In the process of that interview, she mentioned that she went into 21 days fasting and prayer. Mm-hmm. And why she was taking us through the journey of how she prepared for Tokyo 2020. Okay. Now, I have two questions for you. First, 21 days fasting and prayer. Looking at it from the aspect of track and field. Okay. I want you to explain to us how made a switch and a change in her performance at Tokyo to getting a bronze? One. Then now, secondly, being a Christian and a believer in faith, what makes you stand out from every other coaches in the world?
I have something that I believe in that nothing in this world can take away from me. I have had a personal experience, and it is foolish to be shameful of what is gainful. As a matter of truth, my belief system is not much on the belief. It's just the faith system. I believe in God, and nothing can take that away from me. No matter what you say or do, that would just be you. There too. I learn every day, and I don't change a win inside. I believe there's a superior power, and that superior power can work for anyone who cares to just have that faith. Fasting on its own is a very good thing. You hear people, if you go to a health practitioner, they'll tell you need to do some intermittent fasting. So when you do fast, your light breaks forth. You don't feel sick, you feel light, you feel strong. Everything that operates in this life is operated by a force called it spirit. Christendom will say spirit. The Bible says there's a spirit inside of a man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth him understanding.
Hey!
Understanding. So the spirit is a driving force. To keep the spirit alive, the spirit does not feed on food. You have to make a sacrifice for fasting while you seek this great God. And that spirit turns you into another person. Like I said, there's the spirit inside of a man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth him understanding. If the spirit is not there, where is the inspiration of the Almighty coming from?
And
So you need to have that going on. This is what we believe, and it's been working for us. Also, I don't think I'm different from the rest coaches in the world. I don't think I'm even better than any one of them. It's a matter of truth. I just believe that sometimes being the right person at the right place and at the right time makes all the difference. For me, I work hard to be a better coach. I study, I pray, I do researches on my own. Most of the things I do are from my own. I barely pick here, pick there. It's hard for me to do that because I told you the other time, I don't want my mind to be crowded. So I pick something specific and I follow it through. So I make my own research. I know a bit more of the science of the sport. Yes. And I apply them based on what I know. So I don't guess. If I'm doing something, it means I know it. So I don't guess. I put it on. So I believe every coach is unique in their own way of doing things. And that uniqueness is what makes people think they stand out. Not really, you don't. To be frank, a lot of people who wrote so many things about the science of the sport, they never produced one athlete in their entire life. The science that we follow, we read, they never had any athlete in their entire lives. But they know the science of the sport that people apply and result comes. You know what I mean? So everybody has this unique calling. Some might be the people who need to do the research and put it out there. Like I used to tell my athlete, you can't speak English in France in coaching or speak English in China in coaching. They speak their language. They don't speak any other language, and the athletes are just good athletes. So I think that uniqueness of being a good coach is as a result of being the right person in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing, and most of all, having the right athletes and the right atmosphere.
So what's your definition as having the right athletes?
The right atmosphere, like I told you, synchronizing athlete-coach relationship is a very great atmosphere. Knowing the boundaries and knowing what my training ground is not a social gathering. It's an atmosphere for transformation. We are impactful, impartation for transformation. So we are going every day to practice knowing that it is impartation for transformation. That atmosphere is very powerful. Like you see people, they just come to do what they came to do the way they're asked to do it at the time they're asked to do it. At the end of the day, it's productivity. So what really matters most is that you understand what it stands for and you're sensitive to it. Sensitivity brings about sensibility. Sensibility brings about responsibility. Responsibility brings about productivity. But it starts with sensitivity. You have to be sensitive for purpose. Walking through purpose, you become sensible. Once you understand sensitivity, you will be sensible. And once you're sensible, you will definitely take responsibility. Once you take responsibility, you end up in productivity. No days and no performance. It's just like
This episode is class. God, that's it. Secret to success, free of charge. We are
for
honored.
free. Anyone wants to listen.
We are honored to have you.
Thank you.
What has been one throughout your journey as a coach, right? What has been that one performance that was a highlight for you as a coach? I mean, if we use Essie Brume, if we look into Essie Brume's journey, being an Olympic medalist, being a world champion medalist, indoor, outdoor, Commonwealth, African record, national record. What has been that one moment as a coach that stood out for you?
It's going to be like 3 or 4 moments, not one.
Oh,
Yeah, that stood out for me. The first one was in 2015, actually 2016, because 2015, Ezra was really injured. She had this knee injury. We were so broke nose. We couldn't get money to do surgery and everything because she was supposed to get on that tray, but unfortunately, finances was not there. So again, this is where our faith comes in. We prayed, asking God for healing, and God healed. So 2016, okay, so 2015, everybody thought she was done. I mean, I literally heard people saying, you're still playing that coach, your life is over. So 2016, she was the only Nigerian that got to the finals at the Rio Olympic. That was big for me. I was very excited. I mean, that was a turning point. Because before she qualified for the Olympics, when she qualified, she had to jump for 683 in her career. And a lot of people say, oh, she didn't jump that jump. The tapes were drawn for her. She arrived at Rio, still nursing that knee injury for over 2 weeks at Rio. She didn't train. I called her at the telephone. I said, look, whoever is looking after you in Rio does not believe in you. Go out there and do this and that XYZ training and be ready to compete the following day. She did. She got into the finals. She couldn't believe her eyes. She called me. She said, I'm in the finals. I said, I know you're going to be in the final. Repeating those distances that was criticized back at home. So that was big for me. And another moment that was really big for me was 2014 Commonwealth Games. A week to the Commonwealth Games, she was at a World Junior at Oregon in Eugene. She won the national trial with a 6.68, I think. And then she goes to Eugene. She was able to go the best of 5.2 meters. Already the senior team had already moved to Commonwealth Games, and we got report that they should send her back home. She couldn't just jump with the juniors, much more a bigger stage, you know. But then I think the technical director there, Kayode YaYa, was like, okay, let's just bring her. She won the national trials. Now why just train her back home like that? Eventually she got to Glasgow and she won the Commonwealth Games. 1 week later again, she won the African Championship that same week. That was a turning point. That was so impressive. Another turning point again was on the way to qualify for Tokyo. She hadn't gotten the qualifying jump. And we were somewhere, I just don't want to say everything because people are hearing me now and I like them to hear me very clearly. They never believed she was going to get a qualifying mark. As a matter of that, beyond them not believing that she was going to get a qualifying mark, they are wishing she never had it. I mean, it's something that I will face them someday and tell them. So Team Nigeria was in Houston camping. So we were already in the US. So we heard Team Nigeria is in Houston. So we came to join them. And we're in the camp and then we're trying to get competitions to qualify for the game. So yeah, look like you had this injury. You cannot qualify. You're going to make the match. So we had a competition then. And when there's thunderstorm in the US, they put every competition on hold. So she only had 2 jumps and the best she jumped was a 6.4 and they stopped the competition. And that competition was a competition that we're looking forward to see that she qualified for the game. And they're like, oh, well, this is your last competition or one more. So we had one more at Chula Vista in California. We got to that place. There was no hotel room anywhere. Our agent was looking for hotel rooms here and there. She couldn't find any. So luckily for us, we got one at Mood 6. You know what Mood 6 looked like? It was very scary, But first time we had to share one room. I slept on the floor. She slept on the bed. She was literally restless all through the night, seeing me sleeping on the floor. She's not used to it. She's an African girl. You know what Africans are? Your elders must sleep on the bed and all that. But like, this is not the purpose you're competing tomorrow. We're bouncing there and we're competing. She was having good seats. She already had the qualifying jump, 688, 680 this, that. But she was at fourth position, and the last jump, boom, African record from 688 to 717. That was a ton of fun. It was so unbelievable. I mean, I was staring stunnedly. She'd gone over 7 meters like 3-4 times, but that was the biggest moment. I was like, what in the world? She got that. And not just that, after she got that qualifying for Tokyo Olympics, 3 weeks to Tokyo Olympics, then she had a hamstring issue. What's going on here, man? This is not a time to have the hamstring. So we stopped practicing, trying to treat the hamstring and treating him in the plane, pressing, icing, doing all that type of thing. We got to Tokyo, trying to manage, and we came out with a bronze medal. You know what I mean? So that was really a turning point for me. And I will never forget. I'm eternally grateful. I thank God for honoring real wise work as a result of wise work.
So hearing you describe this moment simply means that this incredible, amazing Coach Kayode YaYa has had its down times. Yes, because, looking at it from the outward view, it looks perfect. Esim is one of the most consistent athletes in the world. I personally call her consistency. If consistency were to be a human, that is Esim Brome. So,
thank you.
Can you share or throw more light on a few setbacks that you had that was really challenging, that people really don't see, and how you were able to overcome them?
Maybe challenges came, I didn't know. I always see every stumbling block as a setup for a step up to rise up. So, I do not believe great things come easy and cheap. I believe every great thing requires a price. Challenges are meant to sharpen you, and overcoming them is what make winning interesting. So there are ups and downs. Even the athletes themselves and the coaches themselves have their own issues, transfer here and there, but we must not forget that. So you throw the brick at us, we build a bridge with a brick. Sometimes we will have financial setback, especially paying bills in the US. You live there, so you know what I'm saying. You got to get a car and you're going to put gas in the car to make things really easy. Sometimes I wonder why do we have to train in the US still, But guess what? It's the best place to train at the moment because you have your treatment going on, especially the treatment thing and your meal plans, nutrition and all that type of thing. But sometimes you're real because a lot of people think we have so much money. And we do not have that kind of money. Honestly, we just enjoy the sport and try to live a very good life. We appreciate everything we've got and much respect to every work that you have given. We are doing all right. But sometimes you just sit down and wonder why you have to go through this time. Truth is, much people don't like to talk about, let's say, an old generally. It's just the truth. They don't like it. I don't know why they feel that way or why they do it, or maybe it's me seeing it that way. So I think a person of a caliber in other countries are highly respected and showcased and talked about and projected, but they don't do that at all. And you cannot complain. Personally, I believe God put you for a certain purpose. I used to tell my athlete that if I'd followed track and field, none of them would have known me. It's just the truth. They would never have known me, but probably God wants me to meet them, or they meet me changing their life, or they changing my life. Somehow we needed to meet. So the key factor there is that Sometimes when you think about all these challenges, you just ask yourself, is it really worth it? Is it really, really worth it? Because some of the time I'll leave my family away, and then when I come back, I'm supposed to put something big on the table. And that's thank God for the kind of family I have. They appreciate everything. They appreciate it from the depth of their spirit. And I see it in their eyes. So that gives me strength to keep keeping on and doing what I need to do, trying to put all the great things together that I need to put together. It's not so much about what we can make right now. It's about making the lives of people worth living. I told you it's an invitation for transformation. This you do to the glory of God and to the benefits of mankind. Pay is not much, but your reward is in heaven. But I know that will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But thy kingdom come. Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I was going to mention the family aspect of things. First thing first, I wonder, how is your wife and your son doing?
My wife should be like, maybe 350 miles away from you. So she's closer to you, doing well and fine.
Oh, okay. I need you to expatiate more on this because you mentioned it while you were talking about the challenges. How have you been able, or how has your family, you saying that they are appreciative, they have been your support system. How have you been able to manage being married, having a wonderful son? And I know you move from place to place, country to country, city to city. Even I think I might be mixing the year. Either it was 2015 or 2016 when Essie got an admission in Cyprus, and while she wasn't performing so well, they had to invite you over. And moving over to Cyprus now, family too is there. What has that journey been like?
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Well, a lot of people didn't know that my wife was with me in Cyprus. They thought she was back home in Nigeria. And that's my thing, I don't talk much about so many things. I just do my thing. She was with me in Cyprus all the while, and everything was cool with us. It's not a problem. There's never been a problem. There's been no reason. Even when I put myself down and said, look, I'm not going, my wife would say, you're gonna go. You're gonna go. You have to go. And you're like, essay must not come down. You use your words. I'm using it back to you now. When you put your hands in the plow, you don't look back. And sometimes I'm tell her that I'm gonna leave you right here and go all the way. You know what that feels like? He said, you tell me what that feels like. I already know what that feels like, but you're the one making so much house out of it. Come and do your job that God has put you, and let no external factor distract you from it. See, when that woman says that thing, let the whole world go to hell. I will move. And she's been moving with me lately, She's been moving with me. So family's doing all right. Great. We have all in one park, synchronizing, enjoying what God has given to us.
Mrs. YaYa, I'm sure you're going to watch this. I want to say, you are such an amazing woman.
Say it again.
You are such a, I know behind every successful man is one strong, praying, supportive,
right.
to be, and that is you. Proverb 31 woman, and that is you.
Wait.
And I want to say thank you for doing what you do. I mean, you are born to all of this success that we see. Let's move down to this recent generation, Pristina Ochonoko. She had her Olympic debut this year. How has it been training a young star and being able to maintain performance? When I mean performance, I mean high performance with a seasoned athlete like Essie Brume.
Lions don't give birth to goats.
Coach Kayode. Coach Kayode.
Lion will give birth to lion.
Would I be able to whip you off your feet? I mean, like,
you actually swept me off my feet a couple of times without you knowing.
oh,
Because the questions I was really expecting, they're not the ones you're telling me right now. But hey, man, here's what it is. So a man cannot give what he doesn't have. It's inherent.
oh,
So you just push it out from there. Every athlete that trains with me is unique. If you decide not to do it and you come to me, it's too late. you're going to do well. It's by force.
Hope you all hearing it.
Say that again.
I hope they are all hearing it, including myself.
Hearing is different from listening.
Okay. Hell.
You can hear, but you're not listening. Listening is a critical thinking. When something's said to you, you listen to them, you go back and walk through them over and over again. You can hear anything. There are many things out there to hear these days. Yeah. And people proving themselves, like trying to put themselves that they know more than this person, know more than that person, trying to make your theory look stupid, try to make your theory look nice. But what works? Absolutely, what works? It's a major question. I'm result-oriented and resultful. I don't believe one single athlete in this world is worthless. Every athlete, every single is worth the world. When you come to my team, you become my family. I will never treat you less. So it's important for me to understand that you feel belong. In fact, you know that you belong, not just to feel it. You know that you're integrated. Christina is just one of many. Christina is a wild card. She's very smart. She's open to so many things. She finds the secret of something, she never lets it go. She's not going to struggle with it at all. She's going to be doing it right in front of you. Ease. Any person of that caliber, I mean, she wasn't really like that when she came to me, but as a coach, use the coach's high, learn at some athletes who are use your weakness to be your strength. I can't do this, go do it. Coach, I'm cramping, my tummy hurts, go do it. So when she's done the practice, did you finish it? Yes. So you would have stopped the other time. You gotta make adjustment in your mind, the mind power. But what your heart loves supersede what your mind gives to you. The mind will shout you down, tell you why you should or why you shouldn't. But your heart is going to tell you yes or no. So you have the heart. I took advantage of the heart, not the mind. The mind is crazy for Christina. But the heart is one lonely girl crying in there. So that's where the strength lies. I gave her two pictures. You want to be this or you want to be that. I gave her two pills, the sweet pill and the bitter pill. You take the sweet pill, you wake up the next morning like nothing happened. You take the bitter pill, I show you how deep the rabbit hole is. Which one do you prefer? Pleasure or joy? It shows joy, and joy is everlasting. Pleasure is for a moment. You will see more wonders than I expected.
Yeah. I've seen the amazing thing you have done with Team Hits. I mean, the international collaboration, being able to provide them with kits from athletes around the world, likes of Anitago.
Yeah.
It is a development, I must say, is impressive. But to push in more into this, is it being a coach who is vast, well connected wouldn't be the word. I think is a thing of being blessed, being at the right place at the right time, like you said, and the person who God is using to do this particular great exploits. So in your to-do list of great exploits, what is in there? What are we looking out for from now from 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And what would you say would make it better, or we develop track and field better for not just the generation of now, but the generation yet to come as a coach?
I don't know what the future holds, because everything evolves every day. Generation of athletes now, they are very crazy, I feel like they're being used. The deficiency is too much. You can't find one athlete that is totally committed. They want to get knowledge from everywhere. They are corrupted. Mind is not stable. Mind is crowded. No specific power channel. It's quite unfortunate. I don't even know what's going to happen. But one thing I can assure you is that I will play my part deeply from my heart. For one seasoned athlete holistic behavior, good manners, representing correctly. When a people who bring honor to the sport, to themselves, to their families, we need people that will model our children into something great. For what I'm saying right now, it's so hard to kick against the wall. The independence, or what they call freedom, is actually a total bondage today. My definition for freedom is to stay within purviews of law. If you cannot keep yourself under control, you are not free, you're in bondage. Anything you cannot control controls you. Your appetites, your desires, your cravings, your lost. Those are not freedom, those are bondage. They end up underperforming, sick, drop out on the streets. Why should talented person end that way? They match up for everything. They have no respect, no regard, no control. They have no culture. What kind of people are those? You want to know what 5 years will be when they continue like that? That's hell. It's sad, and it's very painful that they will never. Your uniqueness is your value, but value is as value is. The tennis racket in your hand is nothing but a tool for recreational tennis game. The tennis racket in the hand of Serena Williams is worth more than $20 million. So value is as value is. We have lost value. Unbelievable. Nose diving down the trend. We don't have regard for anything. We want to train, so we want to do everything and anything possible to train. What are you trending? Sidney McCoughlin learned the done is to trend. You already see the trend. What are we thinking? What are we doing? You want to be like persons who doesn't want to be like you. As a result, you throw your unique value. I did from now, I did now. The arrogance is just too much. The arrogance is just too much.
Let me interrupt you a bit. After this question, I was going to throw in what was going to be your final words. But with everything you've said, I have a question to ask. As an athlete manager, I've recruited a lot of athletes, and everyone is talented, unique, and authentic in their own way. And there are athletes who go out there and do what they do. Some come out and design pro. Nigerian athletes, to be precise, have this mentality. I mean, coming from Nigeria, that, once I get here, I want to run fast. Academics is not even the highlight for them. It is the running. I want to run fast. I want to go pro, and make it to this world class. And sometimes it's like I don't know if it's right for me to call it a plan B. And that's why I'm asking you, because you are learned, who understand how life works. So they do not think outside track and field. They do not think what happens next after sport. So it is come to the US, I run fast, go pro, and life continues. And it's like after they go pro, what happens? People just fall back home. We don't see any change. We don't see any improvement. There's a trend that has been going on with the male athletes. Please, nobody should come for me, but I'm not going to mention names, but we've seen our male figures, to be precise, who have turned pro athletes. And one thing, I don't know if I'm saying spiritual though. One thing or the other just keeps coming up on the way. So my question here is, what would you say in situations where we're coming in, we want to go pro, and you don't think about life after track? One. And two, in a case where you're done with school and you don't turn out going pro, considering the United States, is it a thing of pack your things, go back to your country, or use a certificate, get a job, keep training and keep believing? What would you say? This has always been in my heart, and I like to hear people's point of view about it.
Before I answer the question, what's the meaning of Gen Z?
Okay.
I'm old school, I learn every day. I learn every day.
Gen Z era that I know is persons from 1997 up until date. That's the Gen Z era.
Because I cannot match what Gen Z is and what you just said now. But let me answer this question.
Okay.
It is the major problem because they don't think. All they think about is now. But after now, they don't think. What's going to happen for now? My friend was like a brother to me. Always surgery fast, but around pretty fast and quick. But he's a guy that always has plans. What will happen is that in life you have stages and phase. One time there's some things you just do in flexibility. I can't do them now. Bishop once asked me, can he go to the Olympic now? I said, no, we're going to go for you. But he was trying to say something to us. Why you can do this? Do it well. You see, the time is going to come, you will not be able to do it, no matter how hard you try. Training for performance abuses the body. So if you must go higher in performance again, you must do something different that the body does not know. The body knows everything about training, unless you want to kill yourself or you want to get into cheating by using banned substances. You'll be caught. Make no mistake. You can't have smart process right now. Technology is too high. You'll be caught. Don't let anyone deceive you. You'll be caught. And everything you ever worked for will go down the drain. Even the name you build will crash to zero. But truth is, if these people are actually thinking, they do know how to get into this game operationally, sequentially, the stage, the phases. They prayed it with all diligence, systematic diligence. In a way, if it's time for noble, opportunity comes like this. So, for instance, if we get out of track and feet today and tell you that we are poor, that means what? Yeah. It may not be the gains that we want, but what we have, we must make judicious use of it to set up life, because there's life after sport. When I get to this phase and stage in my life, what would I be doing? I've already asked myself these questions and the athletes under me. I train them. That's why I told you it's an holistic thing. We just don't train them to be athletes. We train them to be people of repute. Pattern their life to understand that they must prepare for every phase and stage in their life. So track and field is one part of their life. That chapter, of course, we have a new chapter. So academics is very important, because no matter how star you be, most of the time, probably when the government will want to give you an appointment, you still just see one person that will come, but this person didn't go to school now. So, and we'll find he did well, he represented the country well, but we can't just give this position to someone who is not academically inclined. Where will be the platform for analysis? They don't have it. Okay, let's assume they have it and they're pushing forward to learn the next phase. How prepared are you for the next phase? You can't always be 19. 19, I was cool, as that guy that everybody's going to talk about, even my parents are confused if I'm their son. Because I look like something different. Anyway, I've got really beautiful sisters and very handsome brothers. So I think I'm one of the ugly in my house. Still, my parents love me. Yeah. So, and that's cause as people, if these people think many things I liked it the other time, like the ones who are disrespectful will be respectful. The ones who are underperforming will start performing. The ones who have plan B will lay it off and follow plan A all the way through. The ones who are arrogant will be unglued. Knowing fully well that these are the prerequisites that you might meet in the next chapter of your life. For instance, you get rude to someone, and then after that phase of your bossy nature, you meet the person up there and say, oh, you need me. What's going to happen? Why? Why on earth? Why on earth would they end up that way? Because the power of thought, critical thinking, is against your gratification. That's why you don't think. It's against your pleasure. That's why you don't think. It's against your sensuality. You don't hear it. You can dance in front of the camera and get naked so that you can train. But if you apply for a job in the Ministry of Justice, you will never get it. That one video will speak against you like forever. Nobody's going to recognize that you were young then. They're like, it's in you, inherent. It's time to rock that role. You will still do it. Many things will affect you, what you do now in the future. No one is perfect, but you must give your best to understand the life, not a Nigerian life or a Chinese life or an American life. It is a human life. What comes out of it is what you make out of it. Therefore, it's important for you to think before you leave. That way, in all the junctions, you might just be making the right decisions. I hope I'm able to answer you.
Yes, you have, Coach. Our last and final question. If you could leave one word from that has carried you, that has stayed with you throughout your incredible journey, one word to young athletes and inspiring coaches, what would it be?
Patience, the mother of all transformation.
Coach, this has been more, it is more a life transforming moment with you. I don't feel like it's a podcast right now. And please, maybe next year, I would still plead that you give us the honor of coming again into the studio. But this time around,
this is what I'm meant to do.
But this time around,
I
would want to touch more on the mental aspect of track and field, because I mean, the knowledge you acquire is, I don't have the right English to define and describe, but God will help me. I will study to show myself up.
That again, once again, you judge correctly. The word study there does not mean getting books and all that. Have a critical thinking, critical and in-depth thinking, a rooted thinking that will make you be a fruitful forward. Don't think about yourself. Think about the impact you make. Think about yourself. You will never in this world make the right decision. Think about the impact you will make. Look in the mirror, assuming you are the child now. The way you are, do you think you be proud to say, I want my child to be like me? That's where the true answer is. Yeah. We have altered genetic system by the way we are. If you don't like what you see about yourself, change it before you give birth to that kind of a child. Otherwise, you will give birth to a generation like yourself, good or bad. That'll be the choice that I'm.
But if I had gold and silver have I not? Grateful hearts is what I have to say. Thank you. Thank you for doing us the honor to be here. And to my beautiful viewers, everyone who has come across this, I am sure that you have been inspired. Like the team goes, athleticism meets inspiration. And this one for me is a class that would change my entire lifetime. So I would advise you, because that is what I'm going to do. My pastor would always say, repetition brings an lasting impression. Then this video, watch it over and over again. Pick what you need to pick. As a matter of fact, put pen and paper and be writing. Put it on your wall.
You have the people there who's going to condemn this video. Good mark my word. Or not just reading. What are they saying? That come on. That's okay. The critics are good for improvement.
Most definitely.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Coach. Okay, and so we come to the end of this episode. I still remain your host, Star Mpama. Until we meet again, be good, stay safe, and bye for now. Ciao!